this is continuing the story about Debra's heater and why it stopped working. Well, as you could see in the previous bits of video, I took the controller and the motherboard here, back here, clipped it into my red heater. It worked fine. There's no problems with it at all. So we knew it has to be fuel. Has to be a fuel problem. So what could it be? Now I thought at first it could have been the tank, the cap wasn't breathing properly. Let me go and get the cap and I'll show you what I did. I drilled out the cap to the size of this green hose, and this is the hose that was supplied with the kit. But everybody's saying this green hose is rubbish, it's no good. Well, I don't know. But what I did was I put a piece of brake pipe inside and then pushed it through so it's a nice tight seal, and now that'll drop down the side of the external tank, because you've got the tank outside strapped to the side of the caravan or camper or whatever you call it. So if snow builds up on here, this goes down through a little piece of trellis work and no snow can get in it. And the idea for that, with my thinking, is that when you've got a full quantity of diesel, as it goes down it's going to create a vacuum, and if there's snow or ice on the top of here, it could impede the flow of diesel. No. What the problem was, and this really foxed me, was that I fitted some original Webasto pipe. This is the stuff here. Now I tried to measure this using a drill. This is a 2mm drill, and I'm not sure if you can see the diameter of the pipe, but this drill, 2mm, it ain't going to go. Oh, it does. Yeah, it does go into that hole. It's not very big, is it? Is that 2mm? Wait a minute. I'll be back in a second. Yeah, it's 2mm. So this 2mm hole was working perfectly fine for a few weeks until it got cold. And this is the problem. You know, diesel gets viscous when it's cold. It gets too thick. So it couldn't get through that pipe. Well, I rushed up there once I found that out, and I got hold of some of this. I bought a roll of this type of pipe, and this one here, the internal diameter is 4.5mm, twice the size really of the original pipe, and it worked fine. So I'm going to show you how I actually managed to join it up, because usually you put this green pipe here, you push it over the end of the pump or the fittings or whatever you want to do, and then just leave it. But everybody says this green stuff's no good. Well, let me get me gear out and I'll show you what I did. Now I have a selection box here of these push fit connectors, and they're mainly used for air, but I found out that if you get the ones that's like a Vuitton seal inside, they're good for fuel as well. They work kind of well, and they're just a push fit, and then you push back on this connector ring here and the pipe will come out. So what I did was, well, I'll use this as an example, that I simply pushed a piece of hose over the end, and then with a pair of pliers I put one of these little clips on, which again you can get in a little selection box like this. And of course the nice thing about these little boxes is, if you go on Amazon, you can buy individual packets of 10 of different sized clips, if you get my drift. So these range here from 6mm up to 20mm, and the most common ones to use is 8 and 9mm, but they won't clinch around this pipe here. They won't go around there. So what I did was I cut off a little piece of hose here, and I pushed the push fit on like that. There we go. And then this one into here, like that, and it didn't leak. It doesn't leak. And it worked perfectly. It bled through lovely, no problem at all, and it's been fine ever since. So in cold climates, it might be wise to put something like this nylon pipe in. This is the sort of nylon pipe that's used like on fuel lines, on Defenders, but this is a little bit smaller. But it works really, really well, and it's pretty cheap as well. But it's not going to abrade and rub on bits of chassis and things like this. Whereas this stuff here, well, if anything starts to rub on that, that's not going to last 5 minutes. But you also strap up everything with the cable ties anyway, so it's not too bad. But anyway, it fixed the problem. So I was backing up the wrong tree trying to fix an electronic problem when that was fine, but it was fuel supply. And like I say earlier, this Webasto style hose was working when it was about 5 or 6 degrees, but once it got to -20, it didn't want to know. So now what we're going to do as well, we're going to put a little bit of this diesel conditioner in the tank every time she tops up, just a little bit, doesn't need all that much, and that will prevent it gelling as well. Belt and braces, eh? Alright, I hope that was informative, you know, a little bit of fault finding, and we'll see you again. Ta-da!